In the headlines, 17-year-old killed in building collapse in Niger State. Nigerians hope for a better deal, improved security following the appointment of new service chiefs. Abefele sues DSS, court to rule on rights enforcement on July 13. And on the foreign scene, Ugandan authorities collect DNA samples to identify school massacre victims. Many thanks for joining us on Trust News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin the update in Niger State, where a 17-year-old boy known as Salah has been killed by a collapsed building along Shiroro Road in Minna, the Niger State capital. Eyewitnesses say the boy was a student of an Islamic school within the area. One of the residents, Jabir Ayuba, told newsmen that the building had been under construction for the past 1 year and lacked standard specifications. Niger State Urban Development Board had already marked the building for demolition before the collapse. Effort to reach the owner of the building was not successful, as he was said to be in Abuja.
So this is a building that they have just built less than a year, so that they intend to do pharmacy here. So what happens early morning, we have one of our brother, he's popularly known as Salah in all the street. He's an Almajiri boy of Gidan Power Maurice, fertilizer road, before the police station. He came out this morning after playing everything. He even danced yesterday during one Maulud celebration. So he came out this morning after he ate his normal breakfast, which is waina. He asked that he wanted to call his mom. We even tried to reach his mom, but we couldn't reach her. Then he said he is coming, that he wants to come and see some of his friends inside the street, only for us to come and receive the news of his death. So when we come and investigate what happens, they were here still, 3 of them. Then Salah, then Kabira and Yusuf. The 2 of them are his friends. So unfortunately, the stairs of the building broke and collapsed on his head. There are numerous fractures in his body. In fact, you cannot even raise him up like this. So we took him to the Malam place. After everything, the police there were there to investigate his corpse and do proper investigation. As you can see, this is the building that collapsed on his head. And some of his friends, only one sustained injury for his hand, but they are safe. Unfortunately for them, they cannot lift the stairs because they are around 16 to 17 years old.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetokun, has been decorated with his new rank on Tuesday by Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima. The new police topman was appointed on Monday night by President Bola Tinubu, who had left Abuja for Paris on Tuesday to attend a 2-day summit, which will be hosted by President Emmanuel Macron of France. Kehinde Amodu reports.
At a short ceremony at State House, newly appointed National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, Secretary to the Government of the Federation George Akume, and Chief of Staff to the President Femi Gbajabiamila witnessed the decoration of the Acting Inspector General of Police. Vice President Kashim Shettima presides over this event in the absence of President Tinubu, who is away on diplomatic shuttle. Olukayode Egbetokun is to act as the Inspector General of Police until he is confirmed by the Senate. He describes in colorful language his readiness to take on the task ahead.
Now, I have just been decorated, and I'm looking forward to taking over tomorrow morning by 11 a.m. I really can't describe how I feel presently, but if I have to tell you anything, I will tell you that right now, I feel like a tiger inside of me, ready to chase away all the criminals in Nigeria. And some other time, I feel like a lion in me, ready to devour all the enemies, internal enemies of Nigeria. That's my feeling right now. Thank you.
Former Inspector General of Police Usman Baba is confident that his successor will carry the mantle of leadership from where he has stopped.
Very significant, like you have mentioned. It's a stage. You come, you walk, and you go. I'm happy I'm handing over to somebody I know, that will carry the mantle of leadership from where I have stopped. We grew up in the job, we grew up together. I was his boss at a time, not even when I was IG. He worked under me twice. We've been working together, and I know how he can go ahead to champion the cause of the police from where I have stopped.
Aside from the Inspector General of Police, President Tinubu swept in a new set of security chiefs on Monday night, demonstrating his willingness to take firm decisions to secure the nation. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
Now, a retired wing commander Musa Suleiman and the head of Transparency International in Nigeria, Awal Rafsanjani, want the newly appointed service chiefs to guarantee the security and safety of Nigerians through collaboration and effective synergy. The duo expressed their divergent opinions on the composition and character of the newly appointed service chiefs by President Bola Tinubu, but they, however, agree that the decision is apt and could inspire confidence in Nigeria's security architecture. The report.
In one fell swoop, President Bola Tinubu relieved the former service chiefs, Controller General of Customs and National Security Advisor of their appointments.
For me, it's a good thing, kind of clearing everywhere so that you start with a team that knows exactly what you want from them and lay out expectations based on the promises that you have made.
The security chiefs must prioritize protection and promotion of safety of Nigerians. They must also ensure that they engage Nigerians to support the effort of the government in order to have a more safe country. I think it is important that our security agencies ensure that it's not just protecting the regime, but protecting the Nigerian people.
While retired Wing Commander Musa Suleiman says the appointees are eminently qualified considering their experience and understanding of the existing security threats in the country, Awal Rafsanjani picked holes in the composition of the new service chiefs.
Now there is this comradeship with Cosmet, so we expect that the Army, you will see more collaboration between the Army, the Navy and the Air Force, because all of them entered the Nigerian Defense Academy together. They are classmates, if you call it that. They grew through the service together, so they understand each other better. And here they are heading services that are supposed to work together. So, and personal relationship matters so much.
This part of the continuous challenge that we have right from Obasanjo. The politician, they always want to do this lopsided, appointment. Some people, believe that this appointment is not balanced, given what had happened with the Buhari administration, which was accused of not balancing the service chiefs.
Though opinions are divided over the ability of the appointments to inspire public confidence in the security system, there is growing hope that the new chiefs will work as a team to rid the country of existential and emerging security challenges. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In other news, President Bola Tinubu has departed Nigeria for Paris to join world leaders in France to review and sign a new global financial pact that places vulnerable countries on a priority list for support and investment following the devastating impact of climate change, energy crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement issued on Monday by the Special Advisor, Special Duties, Communication and Strategy, Dele Alake, the President will attend the two-day summit on June 22nd and 23rd, which will explore opportunities to restore fiscal space to countries dealing with the difficult short-term financial challenges, specifically the most indebted. It added that President Tinubu and other global leaders, multinational institutions, financial experts and economists will take a more comprehensive approach to the recovery of economies from the COVID-19 pandemic and rising poverty, with the goal of providing access to finance and investment that will leverage inclusive growth. The President will return on Saturday in company of members of the Presidential Policy Advisory Council and other government officials. The Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal has given the People's Democratic Party and its candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, till Thursday to conclude presentation of its witnesses before the tribunal. The five-man panel of justices presided by Justice Haruna Amani, agreed to extend the time after counsel to the PDP, Chris Uche, SAN, informed the court of the need to extend their time. He reminded the court that although their presentation would have ended on Tuesday, June 20th, 2 days were removed, including the June 12 Democracy Day celebration. Lawyers to the Independent National Electoral Commission, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the All Progressives Congress did not oppose the application to extend the hearing to Thursday. Counsel to INEC, Kemi Pinheiro, SAN, suggested that the respondents could open their defense after the Salah holidays. Earlier, Uche tendered 14 batches of voters registered for the FCT, but could not tender the forms EC8As from states of the Federation due to improper scheduling. Uche attributed this to the attitude of INEC to deny the petitioners documents requested. Uche suggested a legislation that compels INEC to bring all materials used in the conduct of the election to the court 5 days after the election. The justices, however, advised the legal counsel to take the recommendation to the proper forum. Now, the suspended Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, is challenging his continuous detention by the Department of State Security Services, DSS. Emefiele approached the court to enforce his right to liberty and freedom of movement. His counsel, Joseph Dodo, filed originating motion on notice, praying for the court to order the DSS to release his client, as there is no basis for his continuous detention. However, the Attorney General of the Federation, as well as the DSS, have insisted that the detention of the suspended CBN governor is lawful. In a preliminary objection filed against the fundamental rights enforcement suit instituted by Emefiele, the Attorney General of the Federation and the DSS told the Federal Capital Territory High Court that the detention was backed by the order of the magistrate court and prayed for the court to dismiss the motion with cost. They noted that the arrest of the former CBN governor was an administrative decision of the DSS. The Attorney General of the Federation is also challenging the jurisdiction of the court to entertain the suit, as the originating motion he filed ought to have sought that the court set aside the order for his detention rather than seek enforcement of his rights. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on Tuesday invited the immediate past governor of Benue State, Samuel Ortom, for questioning over his stewardship of the state. Ortom, who drove into the Makurdi zonal office of the agency in the state capital at 10 a.m., was cited with media aide Teva Akase and Principal Special Assistant on Special Duty Abraham Kwangu. He had not left the premises as at 11:25 a.m. when this report was filed. Ortom handed over a debt profile of 187.7 billion naira to the administration of Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia. Ortom, at a brief ceremony held at the old banquet hall of the government house in Makurdi, told Governor Alia that the handover notes in 3 volumes were a summary of his 8 years administration of Benue State. In Bauchi, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Abubakar Suleiman, has been re-elected to serve as Speaker of the 10th Assembly. Suleiman was elected following their inauguration on Tuesday. The lawmaker, who represents Ningi Central constituency, was elected for the 2nd term to lead the Assembly, having served in that capacity over the past 4 years. With this development, he is the first person to be elected to the Bauchi speakership position twice. However, a new Deputy Speaker, Jamilu Umaru Dahiru, will assist Suleiman in conducting the affairs of the Assembly for the next 4 years. In Sokoto State, now, where Governor Ahmed Aliyu has disguised himself to pay an unscheduled visit to the specialist hospital on Monday. The governor, who was taken to the hospital around 12 midnight on a tricycle, made a shocking discovery as the hospital was in total darkness due to power outage. Governor Aliyu found health workers at the medical facility ward, including medical doctors on duty, using flashlights while attending to patients. There were other health workers and patients' relatives who were met sleeping outside because they could not bear the heat in the wards.
I have been receiving so many complaints about the condition of this hospital, that is specialist hospital. That is why I decided to pay unscheduled visit to see things for myself. That is why I'm here. And I went around some of the wards, and honestly, I'm not happy with what I have seen.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, we take a look at how Sokoto women rape from rice chaff. Details coming up ahead. Welcome back to the news update. Thank you very much for staying with us. Here's a recap of our headlines at this hour. 17-year-old killed in a building collapse in Niger State. The Nigerians hope for a better deal, improved security following the appointment of new service chiefs. Now, some women in Arkilan Magaji, a rice milling hub in Sokoto State, are earning extra money winnowing rice chaff. The women told our correspondent Abubakar Imam that they fund their education from the business and save for the rainy day. His report.
This is Arkilan Magaji, one of the local rice millers hubs in the Sokoto State. In this community, if you are not a rice farmer, you are certainly a miller or a trader. At the tail end of this rice milling value chain lies these young ladies whose work is to fill sacks with rice chaff for 15 naira each. These ladies feel proud doing this job because, according to them, they have been using the money they are getting in financing their education, supporting their parents, and even save something to buy some of the items needed for their weddings.
I've been in this business for 3 years and I've been benefiting a lot from it. I used to take the money I make every day to my parents. They save some which they are using for buying things for my wedding.
They also speak on the challenges they face.
This place has been experiencing flood disaster every year, and this is affecting our work. We want the government to do something about it or relocate us to a safer place. And we also need financial support because we too want to be rice dealers one day.
Epileptic power supply is also threatening their business. We are not getting light as we're supposed to, and this problem has been lingering since last year. We have been complaining to concerned authority, but nothing has changed. When we get light today, we will not get light again until after 2 days, which is seriously affecting our milling business because sometimes you will buy sacks of paddy rice at a very high price, but before you get it milled, the price has come down due to epileptic power supply. We are calling on the Wamako Local Government Authority and the state government to help us address this problem. It forced us out of the business. Despite all the challenges, these women say they are happy doing this job.
To Gombe State now, where farmers are set to struggle this farming season as the price of government-subsidized fertilizer hit 19,000 naira per bag. The market price, however, for a bag is 26,000 naira. The state governor, Inoyaya, says the government has procured 160 trucks of fertilizer worth 2.8 billion naira and is set to sell to farmers at subsidized rate. Here's Ibrahim Ismail with the rest of the story.
Once it's rainy season, Nigerian farmers struggle to get fertilizer to apply in their farms to achieve a bumper harvest, which is nearly impossible without effective fertilizer application. However, the fertilizers are now expensive. As such, thousands of farmers cannot afford to buy. The government supports, though not many would eventually get it at subsidized rate.
It's coming at a subsidy of about 25%. And that should be enough an encouragement for our farmers, those that don't have the means. Last year we provided 125 trucks, but this year we provided 160 trucks, which is 5,000 tons, because we want to take care extra with take care of our major farmers, even though they are more commercially based, but at least we need to give them some little support, and we shall extend to them. Equally, Go Cares is going to extend to the socially deprived, those that are really displaced, that need the direct support. That one will go to them free of charge, and we have their numbers.
Some of the affected farmers who reacted to the fertilizer sales flag off by Gombe State government are hopeful that the input will boost their production capacity. The fertilizer was subsidized to us at 19,000 naira instead of the 25,500 naira market price. We have kept our seedlings. We are just waiting for the fertilizer, and now we have gotten it. Considering the current economic realities in this country, if subsidy is removed on fertilizer, poor Nigerians will suffer. We are not supporting this, but if it is removed, we are going to suffer in the agricultural sector. Many farmers in the state said they cannot afford the high cost of fertilizer selling above 26,000 naira in the market. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The Lagos State Police Command says it has arrested 7 suspected traffic robbers, including an ex-convict released 3 days ago from the Ikoyi Correctional Center. The command spokesperson, Benjamin Hundeyin, confirmed the arrest on Tuesday. Hundeyin says the ex-convict was picked alongside others while allegedly carrying out the crime in the Ijora-Apapa axis on Saturday at about 9:30 p.m. The police image maker says the suspects will be arraigned in court after the completion of the investigation. Officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps on patrol along the Abeokuta-Shagamu Expressway in Abeokuta, Ogun State on Sunday rescued a female passenger from an abduction by a commercial motorcyclist, Dauda Usman. A spokesperson for the FRSC in Ogun State, Florence Okpe, says the incident occurred at about 3 p.m. The nearly abducted passenger told the FRSC patrol leader that the motorcyclist refused to stop after reaching their agreed destination within Immigration Center in Abeokuta. Okpe says the motorcyclist proceeded to another destination, prompting the woman to call for help, adding that some motorcyclists stationed at the Ladering Estate Junction followed them immediately. According to Okpe, the patrol team, with the help of other motorcyclists, was able to rescue the woman and handed her and the suspect to the Special Weapons and Tactics team. Parents of students missing after an attack on a school in western Uganda are flocking to the local police station to submit DNA samples that could identify their children among the 42 bodies that have been recovered. Regional Police Commander Tai Ramadan says many of their bodies were charred beyond recognition, forcing investigators to use DNA samples from relatives to try to identify them. One of Uganda's biggest massacres in recent decades occurred on Friday night at Lubirira Secondary School after assailants set a dormitory full of boys alight and also attacked a dormitory full of girls, hacking victims to death with machetes and knives. 6 students were also abducted by the attackers, who the authorities say were fighters of the ISIS-linked Allied Democratic Forces group based across the border in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And that's the size of our package at this hour. Many thanks for joining us. Feel free to follow us across our social media platform and enjoy our YouTube stream live. My name is Abdullah Ahmed. Thank you for watching.